What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Thankfully, thank God, we are at the end of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season, whatever season we on. We are on the reunion part 3. Look, y'all, I'm so sick of all things this season, season 9. I'm so sick of all things this season. And you know what's funny? I started getting towards the end of this episode and I started thinking when they did that whole montage at the end showing Lisa and Kyle's relationship through the years, y'all know what I thought about? Next season is season 10. What would be perfect for season 10? You guessed it, them making up. After the and don't get me wrong, do I think that they are genuinely mad at each other and they are genuinely not friends anymore? I absolutely believe that. Do I think that they could ever 100% recover from this? Probably not. Some things just can never be the same again. But do I think that for the purposes of this TV show and maybe for a big enough paycheck, they could be convinced to reconcile at some point next season? Yep. Now, I firmly believe Lisa's not going to come back as a full-time member of the show unless contractually she has to. One thing about these reality shows, they get these people in these contracts, and I don't know if it's the fine print. I don't know what they sign on for, but you hear people come say all the time, I'm not coming back, I'm not coming back. And then you see them come back. It's because whatever that contract got in it, I don't know if they got to give up their firstborn child or what, but they get them on these contracts. So now the thing about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, all of them have enough money to pay whatever the penalty is or pay out, which a lot of the other women on the different shows may not have that option. It's like if the penalty is $1 million, well, I ain't got that. So, but some of these women might be like, hand me my checkbook. Lisa Vanderpump certainly can be like, hand me my checkbook. Um, but do I think that she could be convinced to come back for some episodes next season and do a sit down with Kyle and a reconciliation with Dorit? Yep, I do. I absolutely do. And the more and more I'm sitting here listening and watch this episode, the more and more my mind, my brain was ticking to like, mm. Anyway, let's get into this reunion because it ain't gonna be long. Because again, this could have been 2 parts. They drugged this off for unnecessary purposes. And somebody in the comments told me it might have been Lil Baby 245. Shout outs to you if this was you, and said to me, I said that I think that this episode was gonna have an interview with Lisa, and you put in the comments, Lisa is quit, gone. She ain't associating with the show. But I thought I read somewhere that Lisa did do an interview with Bravo Andy 101 and that they were going to probably splice that in. So I kind of thought that's why they drug it out for 3 episodes so they could splice that into the episode, but they didn't. So you were right, I was wrong. So here we go. We left off at the end of last episode with Camille feeling ganged up on and running off the stage. Camille is so fucking dramatic, and I'm over it. I cannot. I just can't with Camille. I can't. She ran off the stage. Andy went after her because Andy was like, "What is she talking about being ganged up on?" And in true Bravo fashion, everything Camille said that the women were lying about, they spliced it in and showed that they weren't lying. Denise never told you to lie to your daughter or told your daughter to lie. Denise never said she cusses at her daughter. She said she yells at them and that she don't feel bad about it. But hell, show me a parent that don't yell, and I'll show you a parent that need to. So whatever. Um, but they continue to really talk. They were able to get Camille to come back, and they continue to come at Camille and come at Camille and come at Camille about. And it's what a reunion does. A reunion is going to play back what you did and what you said. And the one thing that Andy said to her was, she was like, "Well, they want me to jump on the Lisa Vanderpump hate train, and I'm just not doing it." And he was like, "No, I think they just want you to be consistent about it. Like if you say, look, Lisa is my friend, and I don't feel the way you guys feel, and you stuck with it, that's cool. But you didn't. You talked as much trash about Lisa as the rest of them, but now you're being selective about it." And she was like, "Well, everybody talks trash." And they do. That's what these shows are about. Everybody talks about everybody else. But that's why they have reunions, so you can now face what you said in those confessionals or what you said that people didn't see until it came on TV. That is why they have reunions. And you know that. This ain't your first rodeo. And so all those things that you said, you had to know were going to come back on you. You had to know people were going to throw them back at you. Like, stop it. So, um, they brought up the other thing she said was that they trashed her wedding and they talked so bad about her wedding. And once again, you have selective memory. They ain't say nothing bad about your wedding until after you were talking, after they saw the footage of things you said about them. And um Teddy was very honest about it. She said, yeah, we were throwing shade because we had just found out all the stuff you said about us. So yeah, we said it, we were being catty. Like, that's what it came from. They talked about Teddy was saying, you said some really nasty things about me, with the camping trip and all that stuff. And of course, she tried to make it seem like it was just that one time, that she wasn't constantly coming for Teddy all season, which she was. They talked about the Denise thing again. They talked about that. They got into that a little bit more. They talked about the Dorit thing at dinner, and she did apologize. She said she was wrong for what she said, and and Dorit told, and again, Dorit was honest. Dorit said, "Well, you know what? I hear you, and I accept your apology, but you know, for the rest of the time that we're gonna be in each other's circle, I'm going to always in the back of my mind to feel like I can't trust what you say because what you said was a lie. Like you lied." Now she didn't address that part of it, and I don't know if she was lying, but neither here nor there. Um, and of course, it was waterworks the whole time, just waterworks the whole time. They talked about the house, and she was, and again, I can't imagine losing everything, especially the type of stuff that she had. I mean, losing everything is just got to be a lot. So she said they were able to salvage some things, but the majority of it was just a loss, and that they're rebuilding and everything. Um, what else did they talk about? And she just talked about how hard of a year it's been. She basically was using it as an excuse. But my thing is, the fire didn't happen. Now the fire probably had already happened when she did some of these confessionals, and that's valid because they do the confessionals. A lot of times they come back and do the confessionals. So I can see where, yes, some of this you probably was after the fact, after you lost your house and after your assistant passed away. But the stuff that you were doing throughout the season, like in the scenes, nah, you you can't say because of your husband. I mean, because of the fire. That was stuff you said in the moment. They did a little montage about the trips they took and the packing and all that, and it was cute. They talked about Kyle getting the Rolex postmated um to the table. And of course, they asked, they were like, you asked Mauricio permission. Do you always ask permission? And she was like, on large purchases, we talk to each other. And so of course they asked the rest of the girls. And Dorit said, anything over $10,000, yeah, I call PK. I'd do that. And Erica said, well, I don't buy my own jewelry. My husband does. I'm not allowed to buy my own jewelry. But she said, but here go Erica. I mean, I wouldn't go out and buy a car without his permission. That's your threshold. See, I love Erica Jane. Your threshold is a car, and y'all know that whatever car she buying is at least $100,000. So your threshold is $100,000. Boo! I ain't even mad at you. Again, y'all know I strive to be Erica Jane. Okay, y'all know that I strive to be Erica. I just love it. I love her attitude. I love how she rolls. I love me some Erica Jane. If they did like a contest and they were like, you can meet your favorite like housewife, like you enter the contest and then when you win, you could like go to lunch with your favorite housewife. It would be Erica Jane, hands down. Out of all of the franchises, it would be Erica Jane, hands down. And then I would beg her to let me be her assistant. I'm like, don't you need some color on your team? Don't you? I move to Beverly Hills. Let me live in the guest house. I'm good. What you want? I'll help you pack. I will play in that closet and help you pack all them outfits every time you gotta go on the road. I sure will. How many ice cubes you want in that cup? The sad thing is she probably paid me more as her assistant than I make as a teacher. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation for a whole other day. Anyway, y'all. So then we got into the whole radar online situation, which is it's dead. I think I said it in my review. I probably said it more than once. I'm gonna say it here. I think the general consensus that the women agree that they do not think Lisa Vanderpump picked up the phone herself and called Radar Online. However, they do believe that somebody from Vanderpump's camp called, and they stick by that. No matter what has been said, who's tried to refute it, they believe it and they've stuck by it. I believe it too. I absolutely believe that Lisa Vanderpump had somebody from her camp, whether she knew beforehand or after the fact. I absolutely believe Lisa Vanderpump had somebody call Radar Online. Um, we know that she has a relationship with Radar Online, and then for the head of Radar Online to release a statement, why would he care to release a statement? Like, do you think TMZ will release a statement exonerating a real housewife member? Like, they wouldn't. They don't care. Cal brought that point up too. But they just they just know Lisa. And even Camille, when she was having her little breakdown, said that Lisa's done some mean things to her, but Lisa has some good points and that she misses her friendship, which is all the more reason why you acted a fool, because Lisa's gonna see this, and you know that Lisa, you know that, and you know how Lisa is about loyalty and stuff, and you're trying to get back in good with Lisa, because she said Lisa sort of stopped speaking to her after she saw some of the rest of them episodes. So you're trying to get back in good with Lisa. That's really what it boils down to, Miss Camille. Um, the lie detector test. Did y'all hear all that about the lie detector test, y'all? So what had happened was Lisa took that lie detector test twice. Kyle's people saw Lisa when she took it the first time. She did the second time was when Lisa invited the camera crew. That wasn't the first time she took the test. Now, Lisa said in a tweet today that she did take the test twice, but she passed both times. But they talked about the validity of lie detector tests and how they're not that valid. And Erica brought up a good point. And I'm sure this is something her husband, because Andy said, what did your husband have to say about it? And he said that then we know that they're not admissible in court, and we know that they're not that valid. Like, we know that the validity of these lie detector tests are low in a lot of occasions. So, um, one of the things that I know about lie detector tests, and I've actually had to take a lie detector test before for a job, um, for like a clearance. I forgot what it was, but I've taken one before, and it is a very nerve wracking experience. It does make you second guess every question. Like, you really like, do I live at such and such and such? Was I born in? You know what I mean? Like, it is very nerve wracking. But the questions that they ask, like, they would have never asked that question. Do you believe that Dorit face has changed more times than her accent? Like, they would never have asked that question. Like, that's not even a real question that they would ask. They would ask, do you believe that Dorit has had plastic surgery? Do you believe that her accent is fake? But they wouldn't ask, do you believe that her face has changed more than her accent? Like, but anyway. The other thing that Erica brought up was her having on the jacket and having the dog. Like, it's a certain atmosphere that would be set up for this lie detector test. So yeah, do we believe the results? Do we believe the validity of the test? Maybe, maybe not. But hell, Ted Bundy passed a lie detector test, and we know he was guilty. So doesn't really mean anything. They did acknowledge that Lisa was going through a lot this season with her brother dying, and that they did all have empathy for her. But of course, it doesn't excuse. It's kind of like that whole Jennifer situation on Basketball Wives. Doesn't excuse bad behavior. Just because you're going through something doesn't give you excuse the whole bad behavior. Then we had the montage of Lisa and Kyle and their friendship through the years. And to me, it looks like it's always been one sided. It's always been about Kyle remaining loyal to Lisa and walking around on eggshells with Lisa. And if she said the wrong thing, then she was banished. And she said this before, and we've seen it through the seasons, that they go through this back and forth, that they go through all of that. But ultimately, that was pretty much it. After that, they let Camille leave. Why they put Camille out at the end before they was going to do the toast? That was messed up. They could have, hell, they let her stay through all that. They might as well let her stay. I mean, I'm sure it was edited down, but they might as well let her stay through that last little part. It looked like they were done talking about what they was talking about when they finally asked her to leave. Um, but they just, they did that end of the go through around, what have you learned, that kind of thing, that type of thing. And then they did their little toast. So we are done with season 9 of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, y'all. I guess the ladies will be back next. They were late this year because of the whole thing with Lisa Vanderpump, because they never run this late into the summer. So I don't know when the new season's gonna pop up, but let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.